Asia, someone told me today, one of the trade officials, that there were 6,000 different products that are involved in this $200 billion trade tariff threat. It's absolutely mind-boggling. The vast majority of business owners, large and small, are here today telling trade officials they support the idea of leveling the playing field on trade, but they're also trying to explain that these tariffs don't make much sense. Why? It often takes a long time to set up new factories in the United States or elsewhere, and in many cases it just doesn't make economic sense for them to do so. So for the foreseeable future, if the tariffs are imposed, they'll simply have to absorb those costs. Let's take a specific industry, lighting. Display supply lighting makes LEDs specifically for trade shows. It designs the lights and controls the manufacturing process in China. The question of who will pay the 10 to 25% tariffs on $200 billion of Chinese goods is actually a crucial question. Rob Cohen, Vice President of Display Supply and Lighting, has the answer. He says, not the Chinese suppliers.
They don't have the margin to be able to absorb the tariffs for us, and it's our problem as Americans. It's our government that's imposing these on us, which essentially makes the duty or the tariff a tax on the American workers and the families that are employed by those good small companies out there trying to earn livings.
Everyone else I spoke to also said the same thing, including the owner of a major industrial company who confirmed that factor, that when they import Chinese goods, they then have to pay the tariff up front at the border and can only recoup that cost once they invoice their industrial customers here or overseas. And in the case of overseas customers, that may provide incentives for those customers to choose other suppliers, say in Europe, Canada, Japan, the Republic of Korea, Brazil, or elsewhere.
So what are the chances, Daniel, that some of these companies would find some kind of loophole, some kind of way to evade these tariffs?
Well, according to that company boss I spoke to today, some of his competitors are already, he says, setting up manufacturing facilities in Mexico and Canada, which would enable them, if these tariffs are imposed, to ship product from China and into those third countries, where they could then label the products as assembled in Canada or Mexico. But there are some legal risks involved in doing that. They might be in trouble. But the fact of the matter is that this is the largest proposed set of tariffs in the history of US-China trade, and it's meaning that many industries are bringing in products in large volumes in anticipation of the tariffs going into effect as well. So these businesses are hoping that trade talks, beginning here in Washington this week with the Chinese Commerce Ministry delegation, will eventually, they hope, lead to a settlement. At least that is the hope. Daniel Rinchez, thank you.